Welcome back to the Opportunity Zone. You're joined here by Mr. Chris Lavin.
Hey, Mr. Nate Armstrong.
I kind of like that, Chris.
That
Thanks.
works, doesn't it?
All right, so lots of news to cover today. First things, $200 billion mortgage sledgehammer. What on earth did they just do to start bringing down mortgage rates? They actually ended on Friday at 5.97. Let's see where they go this week. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about what it means to you as an investor. We're also going to talk about what's happening with the billionaire tax in California. You literally have folks like Larry Page who are buying in Florida right now, leaving California in advance of the billionaire tax that's about to hit. Next up, GDP. Chris, did you ever think that we'd be able to say this fast? 5.3% GDP?
Unbelievable. But you know what? Trump is not an effective president.
No.
I'm being sarcastic, people. Say what you want about Trump, but the numbers speak for themselves.
Then we're also going to get into if you own multifamily or if you're thinking about owning multifamily up in New York, there is a property rights lockdown going down right now. Literally, there is something terrible happening. We're going to get into that and a lot more. If you are an investor or you're considering investing, this is the show for you. Chris and I are pretty fast in and out of this stuff, but we're going to give you the week's headlines so you know how to react in this marketplace. First, I'm going to do a quick Bible verse, and I'll hand it over to you, Chris, for the blessing, and then we're on to it. So the Bible verse is Proverbs 31:10. If you are a young man, this arguably is probably the most important one in the Bible. And it goes like this. Who can find a virtuous and capable wife? She's more precious than rubies. Her husband can trust her, and she will greatly enrich his life.
Amen. I lived that.
Chris, I think that you hit the jackpot in that one.
And man, I wish we had the time to tell that story, man, because it wasn't meant to be, and God put us together, and we've been together ever since.
Beautiful. Chris, would you mind giving us the blessing?
Heavenly Father, first and foremost, thank you for being present in my life, and thank you for giving me the sense to acknowledge your presence in my life. Please bless this conversation that we have today. Allow us to share our experience and our mistakes with folks out there so they don't have to repeat them. We know for a fact that you want us to lead joyous lives, and allow us to share our joy with the people listening to us now. And a special thanks for my wife in this moment. I ask all of this in your name. Amen.
Amen. All right, so we're going to jump into a quick headline, and I want to get your take on what's actually going down, Chris. We've got
Please.
The DOJ, Department of Justice. They have officially launched an investigation into Jerome Powell, the chair of Federal Reserve, and Trump is saying that he knew nothing about it.
Come on.
What does this even mean, and how is it going to affect the market, or how is it going to affect investors?
Come on.
I saw I read the article on it, and Trump is saying, no, I didn't know about it.
Come on.
And then he says, but the guy is a moron. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's terrible. Like he goes,
And I would never use it. I would never use this tactic against somebody, not even my enemy. Right. Can I tell my story?
Please.
All right. So this is not uncommon. So the way that they're going after Powell right now is because of all the excessive funding that was unapproved to build his new house, basically his new home, his new business address, whatever you want to call it.
This we're talking about where the Federal Reserve houses all their employees.
Correct.
This is in Washington D.C.
Not literally his home. I apologize. I wasn't clear on that. So they're going after him he spent stupid amounts of money. He had like a $13 million budget, and he's at like $1 billion or something crazy. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you understand the point. So they're going after him for his lack of fiduciary responsibility to us as citizens. But there's a little story that y'all might want to remember if you're old enough, and it was about this guy by the name of Bill Clinton. Does anybody remember Bill Clinton? I remember Bill Clinton. I was a Bill Clinton fan, and I'm a Republican. I think that since Bill Clinton left office, he's done some amazing things. Let me give it to you this way. Kenneth Starr went after Bill Clinton for the Whitewater real estate transactions that he, did some shady stuff prior to getting to office, and they wanted to impeach him with that. They were unsuccessful. They went on a witch hunt. You know what that witch hunt turned up? You're scared to ask, aren't you?
Does it start with an M?
It starts with an M. Yep, and it goes something like Monica, right? And inappropriate sexual behavior with an intern in the White House. as a president, and they impeached him over that, and they further impeached him because he wasn't completely honest about his interactions with that young lady at the time. Telling you that story to tell you this: they're going to get Jerome Powell one way or another, just like they got Bill Clinton one way or another. They're coming for him. They're going to get him, and thank God. And this ties into another story, and I don't know if that's the next one you're doing or not, but this ties into another story that just so happens to happen right around the same time this is announced. But let's remember that a president knew nothing about it.
Which story you want to cover?
I want to go to the $200 billion story.
All right.
And then we'll go to that other story.
All right. We'll go to 200 billion.
The timing is just unbelievable with this. He gets indicted, and at the same time, hang on, we'll find the story.
All right. This is it right here. So Trump on his social platform just announced that they're taking $200 billion that were sitting in cash over at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, $200 billion, and they're using it to buy mortgage bonds.
Therefore, driving the price of mortgages down.
Yeah, so we saw the reaction in the marketplace. They haven't deployed all the capital yet. I don't even think they've deployed a dollar of it yet, but
Nope.
just the announcement of it has made 30-year fixed mortgage rates come down.
Right.
We're now 5.97.
Well, you know why they're coming down? I mean, seriously, I'm not being funny. I know you're going to be like, wait for a joke.
Well,
No.
bring it.
All right, so my theory is this. They're bringing the rates down to be competitive to get as much of this last top portion of the mortgage rates. You know what I mean? So, because once the $200 billion comes in, it's going to flood it and it's going to lower the price slightly, lower the price significantly. So the banks are lowering it incrementally to get as much of the market as they can now at these last bit of higher rates, right? So that's my theory. That's what I think is going on. That's what we're seeing in the market, even though, like you said, not a dollar has been pushed into the market yet. It just so happens that this announcement's made on the same day that the DOJ announces for the past 2 weeks they're investigating Jerome Powell. But the president had no knowledge of this. Come on. A little too coincidental to me. And listen, I'm a Trump fan, right? I'm a Trump fan. What he's doing in this economy is absolutely amazing. The insane tactics that he's pulling off to make things happen, I love him. We'll tariff everybody for $100 billion so they'll come to the table and get reasonable. There's a method to his madness, but come on.
On top of this, so mortgage rates are coming. The Trump administration has come out boldly and said, we're going to bring affordability back to housing.
To the people. Right.
And so they're attacking it from multiple angles. Now they're attacking an opponent who's Federal Reserve chairman. They're basically coming at him with the...
Yeah, but you know what? He deserves it. Like, dude deserves it. Like, he pushed back on the wrong guy. Trump is a no BS kind of guy. He pushed the wrong button.
So they're winning on that front. They got rates sub 6 already. Remember during Biden's era, they were north of 7.18, 7.5, and they've come down drastically. In addition to that, they just announced, this is Trump again, saying, hey, you know what? Biden ignored the housing crisis. We're not going to. We don't think that corporations should own houses. And because of that, we are going to ban corporations from owning single family houses.
Wasn't there a quantity though? No,
so
I don't remember.
Senator Warren, about 2 years ago, she tried to push something through, and it basically capped it at 50. You own 50 or more, you're too big.
Okay.
Trump hasn't announced what he's going to do specifically yet, but he's coming out swinging for the fences, kind of like what he did with tariffs. 100% tariff, and it'll probably land here, but this is the statement right now. So 2 fronts, Trump administration is coming after and trying to make housing more affordable.
Yeah, I'm with it, right? I don't know. You got people living in houses, they're paying taxes. I think it just stimulates the economy in all kinds of ways.
So we had a question from one of our investors, Chris, and the question was, hey, since nobody can invest into single family houses anymore, which is not true, but that was kind of the premise of it, is this going to cause a run on apartment buildings? Is more money going to move away from these big corporations that own giant mass amounts of single family? Are they going to come to multifamily? What do you think?
What do I think? I think anything I say is going to be crystal ball talk. But let me really think that through. So now that market is gone, it's going to drive the prices of single family down. This could, I hate to be a doomsayer, but this could not be entirely beneficial to us as multifamily owners.
It's possible. Trump said that he's going to protect the equity that people have in their single family houses.
Yep.
So let's see where that goes. My take is, though, that this capital is going to have to move somewhere. If they mandate mass sales of these publicly traded REITs that own single-family houses, that capital's got to flow somewhere.
You think they would mandate sales or no further acquisitions?
Don't know. Elizabeth Warren's legislation basically capped it at 50, and then they had a disposition period of a couple of years.
Not such. See that could be really bad, right? Because now we end up the other way, like what happened in 2008 when the market got flooded because of all the bad mortgages. Whew.
Yeah.
This could be a dangerous game, right? We got to use a little wisdom on this transactional stuff here.
They account for less than 2% of the housing supply as a whole. It's closer to 1%, but some cities like Atlanta, they're very, very concentrated, but it's still less than 2% nationwide of the housing supply.
This single family.
Single family for these publicly traded REITs, big corporations that own mass amounts of houses. So let's see where it goes.
2% not going to really ruin the market.
Shouldn't.
No, and you know what? There'll be a quick absorption. And then prices will come back. Yeah, I'm good with it. I'm not scared anymore.
Okay.
I wasn't really scared. I was a little concerned.
So if you are a single family investor, or maybe you're doing duplexes, fourplexes, there's a lot of choppy waters. You should be very cautious right now. Like we don't know exactly where all this is going to.
Yeah, single family like single family Section 8. Stay away right now. It's not smart.
Yeah.
As an investor, if you want to go buy your dream home, go do it. Once you've gotten financially stable and got all your finances in order. Wait before you do that. Are we doing that, or are we going back to California?
You want to go to California?
Let's talk about California. We're talking about the big money, people.
Chris wants to go to California.
Let's do California, baby.
All right. So we've got a billionaire tax proposed right now in California. And when I first read the headline, I'm like, they talk about this all the time, billionaire tax. But literally, real billionaires, they're making moves right now. Why? Larry Page literally has started selling stuff in California, started buying stuff in Florida, started buying stuff elsewhere, moving business addresses. Why? Because this billionaire tax has a clawback period. So when they pass it into law, they're going to say, no, we're going back a year.
No, that's not fair.
Yeah, this is dirty.
Listen, I got to ask this question. Billionaires are generally smart people. And by the way, if you don't know it, Larry Page is the guy that started Google with the Russian guy. Can't think of his name. Sergey, yeah. So Larry Page started Google, so he's billionaire, right? But why would you live in California when you had that much money? Think about the amount of taxes you pay in the state itself. I mean, California is beautiful, but the politics are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, right? When we agree on that. Why would you live there to begin with?
I ask myself that question. I've asked folks that live in California too, and it's always the weather. I can drive and be at the top of Big Bear, and then I can be at the beach in San Diego.
I buy that. But at billionaire level, you have a G5 waiting for you?
Yeah.
Or G6 or G7, and you go. Yeah, no, I don't understand that, because he's got to be paying an unproportionate amount of taxes to begin with. But don't get me wrong, California's beautiful. Up and down PCH with the top down, it's beautiful, man. But I don't think I'd live there. I'd visit.
So this billionaire tax is why Chris and I do not invest in markets like that. I realize this is attacking individual wealthy people. Well, what's going to happen if they pass this? Billionaires are going to leave, and then they're going to be like, oh, we were counting on that revenue. Where else can we get it?
Yeah, now they're coming to the common guy. Or maybe they're going to come to the guy that's making $200,000 a year, which, by the way, is what you have to make to live in California, to even own a house. I don't know if you know about the real estate prices in California. That's absolutely insane, right? So that's the common income is $100,000 to $200,000 is like the median income in California if you want to live in a place that isn't rat infested. And those are people that are coming after next, and they're going to make up for that. And by the way, they're going to have to spread the taxes that they're charging the billionaire across 1,000 of those people. For every billionaire that disappears, 1,000 thousands a billion, right? That's right, math, right? 1,000 a billion, yeah.
And this is how it plays out every time. Even in Minnesota, my original home state, I don't live there anymore, but Minnesota, they called it the millionaire tax. It was an estate tax when you die. And what happened? A lot of millionaires said, you know what? I'm not going to pay that. I'm going to move before I die. They started flooding Florida, left Florida, and then the state's looking around saying, well, we were counting on that money. And then they lower it down a bracket until they can actually capture it. So they hit the common everyday man.
Yeah, one thing you're not going to find is Democrats stop spending. They're going to keep spending. They don't stop spending to solve the problem. They spend more when they have no money, and they borrow it.
All right. Next up, Chris, I'm going to go over to New York.
For the love of all that's holy. This is absolute. Oh, my gosh.
So Chris is excited because he spent a lot of time up in New York as a youngster, and now this beautiful city, it's under attack. You own a multifamily in the state of New York, guess what? There is new legislation that has come through that basically allows a committee to decide the first 60 days who it sells to. Yeah, you heard that right. multifamily sale, you can't just go list it on the private market and hope for the best offer and run. You have to let this committee look at it, and they get to offer it first right of refusal to a couple of nonprofits. And even after the 60-day mark or the couple of month mark has passed, when you do list it private market, let's say you get a buyer on it, the committee can come back and ask one of the nonprofits to match that offer. They are controlling the outcome of multifamily sales in New York.
It's the beginning of the end of capitalism. I mean, think about it. That's basically what you're doing. You're turning it's not even socialism, really. I don't know what the heck it is. But you're definitely taking away capitalism. So I can't do what I want with my property and sell it at the price that I want to sell it at, and you're going to dictate but let's get real for a minute. You're also telling me how much I can rent it for before I can sell it. So you're basically telling me how much I can earn, no matter how hard I've worked and how long I sweated and put energy and effort into developing a property and bringing it up to standards. You're going to tell me how much I can sell it for and who I can sell it to. Insane. This is so bad. If they don't shut you know what? Do these people not watch Law and Order Special Victims Unit? Like this guy, there's got to be a target on this guy's back at this point. It's got to be.
All right, we are going to move over and hear a little bit about the economy quick. I just wanted to get this snapshot.
14 seconds quick.
We just got a report from the Fed Atlanta Bank that says we grew at 5.3% in the fourth quarter. This is an absolutely booming economy right now.
Well, that's easy for him to say.
5.3% GDP. What does that even mean, Chris?
It means that things are booming. It's a booming economy, Nate. I'm going to listen. I don't know that I believe it. I don't. I don't know that I believe it. I just don't. I don't know that I believe it.
Think it's manipulated numbers?
A wee bit.
The only defense I'm going to throw in here is that the data is coming from the Fed Atlanta, and the Fed Atlanta would be under Jerome Powell. I don't know how all this data rolls up.
So you understand that the more data that supports Jerome Powell's position and his tactics in retrospect, right? What he's done to this point. Look, we did a great job. We got the economy back.
I suppose he could steal that headline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did this. Remember, it's him and Trump.
And that might be the last data set that he posts.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I hope we don't have too much of him around for much longer.
Chris, we have one more big announcement. Actually, two big announcements. Okay. First
this is more supposition, though. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Credit cards. Trump wants to come after the credit card companies. He's making a public declaration right now that there's no more of this 20-30% stuff. 10% is going to be the new cap, at least for the next year, until it can be worked out. Your thoughts?
My thoughts is that it's a mistake.
For him to muddle in free market?
No.
Which mistake?
No, the mistake is this. You're trying to control the outcome of people's actions rather than correcting their actions. You should not be living in credit card debt. You should not be using credit cards. If you can't afford to pay for it, you should not have it. If you are taking out debt against something that's not earning you money, you are making huge financial mistakes. The debt that I have is consistently around assets that generate wealth for me. That's the bottom line. Now, that's almost true all the time for me across the board, except in circumstances where I pay less on the debt than I earn with the money. What do I mean by that? So if I get a 7% mortgage, I'm going to take the 7% mortgage and have a mortgage against my house and then use that cash to go generate 10%. So I have a net 3%. If I'm going to buy a car, I'm one of those people that's very privileged to still get 3.5% interest on a car because of my banking relationships. It makes sense for me to take a note out on my car at 3.5% because I'm going to take that money and easily go make 10, 12, 15, 20% on it. But if those are not the circumstances of your life, if you're a W-2 employee whose primary income is based on your job and you can't use leverage or debt or your money to go, or you're not using your money to out and earn other money, it's a financial mistake. You're not living by biblical principles. As far as I'm concerned, it's my opinion. But he's trying to solve the symptom. He's trying to solve the symptom, not the problem. So go ahead, go and use all your credit cards you want, get as much in debt as you want, and we're only going to charge you 10%. I think that this goes back to what we do with Home Invest Kids. Teach kids how to be financially responsible, to not be in debt, and to live life based on biblical principles. It's not taught in school anymore.
The principles Chris is teaching about right now. We have a board game that we had the blessing to create called Solomon Stewardship Challenge, and we actually play it right here in the office. We had a whole bunch of kids here.
That was cool.
And if you'd like to learn more about that, or if you've got a kid that you think should go through that, then type Solomon in the comments.
Yeah.
Solomon.
Solomon in the comments. And here's one for you. Our chief investment officer, Dan, his kids won. Imagine that. Dominated. Tyrants, actually.
My son was playing too, and I thought he'd be a ringer in it. And when he lost to Dan's daughter,
He was upset.
What happened? And he kept saying, he's like, well, Dan's daughter, she would buy cheap and she would sell to me high. And I'm like, why were you buying? But it's a lot of fun. If you want to learn the principles of stewardship that Chris is talking about, that's an excellent way that you can do it. Type Solomon down in the comments below.
Sorry. That was not the reaction you expected. I'm sorry.
No.
But it's from, I don't know how to be anything but real.
You got to speak from the heart, and it is missing. Financial literacy is totally shattered. If you're an adult and you don't want the adult version of it, not the kids version, then we hold sometimes 2 days, sometimes 3 day events where we teach it.
We teach about all this stuff.
We call it our multifamily challenge. You can find about it on our website, or you can click around the internet. You'll see it. But our multifamily challenge teaches how to invest the right way.
Unfortunately, the tuition is through the roof.
It is.
It's like $27, right?
Yeah, it's less than $100.
Yeah, it's cheap.
Yeah. Cool. Chris, one more piece of news, and I want to get your comments on this.
Yeah, but I'm biased on this next piece of news.
Well, you should be. I hope you are. We're quite substantially invested in this sector.
Quite substantially.
Okay, so manufacturing, the numbers are out since 2025. You can see all the red numbers that are positive, the blue numbers on the left side. These were last year, 2024. Manufacturing wasn't doing that well, but 2025, it's absolutely dominating, growing basically quarter over quarter every quarter with no stoppage in near sight, at least.
Okay, so let me first frame my response.
Yeah, what's happening?
We own machine shops. We own manufacturing facilities. What's happening? The insanity of Trump has persevered. What do I mean by that? Y'all said he was crazy for the whole tariff thing, right? Y'all said that, all that crazy tariff, we're going to fall apart as a country. Well, it's driving jobs and products back into the United States, or repatriatizing all of this manufacturing. That's what's happening here. Yeah, they can do it cheaper in China, excuse me. But I think we do it better here in America, in the United States. We may pay a little bit more of a premium, but this is driving jobs. It's driving manufacturing. It's protecting us against that whole supply chain nonsense we went through. Remember COVID? We went through all that nonsense. That's what's happening. So between COVID and Trump with the tariffs, you're seeing this stuff happen. So if you're smart, invest in I know where they can.
If you are an accredited investor looking for an opportunity, check out manufacturing, check out what Chris is talking about, become Chris's partner. Okay, so we have a manufacturing portfolio in the Midwest dominating right now. We have 6 months backlog at one of our facilities because there's so much demand. We're actually trying to start a second shift to keep up and get rid of that backlog right now.
And the future looks bright.
Yeah, it's really good. Blue chip clients, like clients I'm not allowed to say some of them out loud because they're NDAs. There's defense contractors
There's people that go into that black stuff above the earth, but I can't say the name of it. The black stuff above the earth, that space stuff.
Oh, yeah, there's a big conversation happening right now with that. Anyways, clients that you would know, everyday name clients that you would absolutely know. If you're interested in that, type the word call in the comments, CALL, and our team will send you a link. We'll get you information on it, but it's for accredited investors, which in simple terms means if you're making $200K as an individual annually, $300K as a married household, or you've got $1 million worth of net worth, not including your personal house, but $1 million of assets or more, you're an accredited investor. There's no test, there's no exam. It's just a checkmark box that you have to be able to do. If that fits you and you're looking for up to a 20% internal rate of return, solid cash flow every quarter, these are already cash positive businesses that have never missed a distribution. So type the word call, CALL, in the comments, and we'll get you information on that. Chris, how do you want to wrap up today's show?
I want to wrap up today's show with a little bit of reflection. I'm sitting here, and as many of you know my story, there was a point in my life where I was literally homeless behind a dumpster, and as Nate was just talking about, one thing that I'm very proud of is that we've never missed a dividend. We've never missed a payout to any of our investors. the blessing that God has given us and the ability that God has given us to help affect other people's lives in a positive way as a result of the many deals and relationships that have been laid before our feet, we can take no credit for. It's all for the glory of God, and I couldn't be more honest than that. So I'd like to close with this. God doesn't love you any more than he loves me, and he certainly doesn't love me any more than he loves you. He wants you to be as happy, joyous, and free as I am, as we are. He wants you to have the ability to positively affect the world so that you can experience that joy in your life and that joy in your heart. And he wants to set you free from whatever struggles you're going through. But if you want God to move a mountain, you have to show up with a shovel. So if you want a different tomorrow, you have to do something different today. So start doing that different thing. Make some wise choices. Invest wisely. And multiply the talents that God has blessed you with so you can have a fruitful tomorrow. God bless y'all. Thank you.
Bye, guys.